Walk. No, we gotta do that over.
Oh.
Okay. Hi guys, and welcome to our first From Tantrums to Tea podcast. This is my mom.
She's already laughing at me.
Crystal.
You're already laughing at me. Why are you laughing at
This
me?
is my mom, Crystal, and I'm Atiana. Everybody calls her Chris, and everybody
Nobody calls me Chris. Nobody calls me Chris. Don't.
Okay, everybody calls me Auntie. Anyways, we have our little tea, and this first episode, we're just gonna be doing the questions that you guys asked me on my social media platforms. So,
You said we're spilling
Okay,
all
fine.
the tea.
Hold on
I
one
mean,
second.
commit to it or don't commit to it, friend.
we have this little handy dandy box with all the questions that you guys asked me,
So instead
or
of
everything you want to know about.
us choosing, we wanted to just pull it out, so it's unscripted.
Yeah.
It's in no particular order. I'm trying to look for one particular one.
No. I'll drink my tea.
That's not an option. Okay, let's see what we got going on over here. So we have a nice light one for our first.
I hope so.
Yeah, it is very light. So if you were given a chance to explore the ocean or space, which one?
I love the ocean, but like too deep into it, they have like dinosaurs and stuff, like things that because only 5% of the Earth the ocean has been discovered.
Oh
So
no, I did
that's
not know
scary.
that.
Yeah, that's scary. But in space, I feel like I would definitely do something wrong and just choke to death because I don't have no oxygen. I think I'm gonna go with space. I'd rather die of oxygen than die of a big animal eating me.
I would choose the ocean because I feel like there's a lot more. There's a variety of things to discover in the ocean. Colors, octopus that punch fish in the face. And then when you get deep down into the ocean, from what I understand,
You implode.
So I'm gonna go with the fact that if I could explore, if I was given the chance to explore, I'm gonna be given the tools to explore. So you just think you're gonna go in space and die. So you just give no faith into it. But if I'm given the chance to explore, I feel like I'm gonna be given the equipment that I need to be able to explore properly. And if the equipment existed for me to be able to explore the depths, like the fish glow down there. There's no light.
Yes, I understand, but you have to have a lot of things set in place so you don't die.
I don't have to do anything.
Okay, well, I'd rather die in space than the ocean.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
I would rather die in the ocean, I guess. If we're talking about dying, it was supposed to be explore. Like the question is explore, not if I'm gonna die somewhere. Do I want it to be in the ocean?
Right. Okay. So then I would pick the ocean also if I didn't die.
What? But I don't understand why we're talking about dying. Like
because I feel like the more you explore in the ocean, the more things you figure out. Like wow. Like maybe humans shouldn't be down here, and then you.
Humans absolutely should not be. We should stay in our lane for sure.
Okay, so ocean, space. Okay, if you could be a fly on the wall and watch someone's private life, who would it be? Ian Somerhalder.
Who's that?
Damon from The Vampire Diaries.
Oh, you are.
I want to see what him and Nikki Reed's kids look like.
Oh. All up in their business.
Yeah, because they don't post them on social media, just their hand or a foot here and there. Like, who does that?
Oh. They just post their hand or their foot?
Yeah, of the babies. They don't post their face.
That seems a little weird.
To protect them. I mean, are
they doing it like in a setting? Like it looks nice when there's a baby foot and a baby hand in there? Oh, because you're just...
Or they'll do them like petting a horse, but it's just the back of their head. But they'll have on like a hat or something so their features don't show, so people don't see the kids. So who would you watch?
I want to mind my business. I don't want to be a fly on the wall. on anybody's stuff. You want to know why? Because I got my own shit like that I have to do.
I don't know if you can say that on YouTube. I don't know if you can cuss on
maybe
YouTube.
you can blurp. Can you blurp it?
Yeah.
We gotta blurp it. I have my own. Listen, it's enough to know what I know, or for people to confide in me and to know their stuff. I don't want to be a fly on the wall and know about anybody's stuff. If anything, I like the fact that I don't know half the stuff that I don't know, because then I don't have to be bothered with it. And I really just like to mind my business.
True.
Maybe if you would have asked me that 10 years ago, I might have would have had an answer. But I've just come to a place in my life where I don't need to know. If it's not presented in my face, it's not meant for me to know.
True.
And I need to be okay with that. And one of these days,
I don't want to be in nobody else's business, just his. So,
because you're a little obsessive with that right now.
Whoever watched The Vampire Diaries, shout out to you. I've watched it like 800 times. It's the best show ever. It always will be.
And she asked me one year, this would have been, I remember we were in Lee Road, but she asked me, she says, she really played it too. She said, Mom, you should watch The Vampire Diaries. And I said, that's not really my jam. Well, to connect with me as your kid. I forgot how she worded it, but it was basically some manipulation foolery, like, oh, to connect with me as your child, you should just watch it so that way when I want to talk to you about it. And so I did. I watched all of it.
Not the spin-offs, though. She didn't watch Legacies or the originals, just The Vampire Diaries.
Okay. That's probably true. It was long. It was a lot. We had things like Interview with a Vampire. And
that's like that 70s stuff.
First of all, it's not the 70s.
All right.
So I'm learning the plan as we go. This is Atiana's plan to have a mother-daughter podcast, and I fully support it. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to run my mouth while I do it. Do you have a worst ex, and what was your experience? Worst ex.
You can't breathe too hard in that mic.
Oh.
Hot breath.
Especially with the tea.
Right.
I mean, if I had to pick a worst one, but I didn't like, he wasn't a boyfriend. Are we doing boyfriends only?
We're doing everybody that I tried to build a relationship with, period.
Oh, well, that's not very many people either.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I mean, probably your dad, only just because he kind of made my life miserable after we broke up for a while, and it was completely unnecessary.
Shout out to my dad. I love you so much.
Shout out.
Shout out. Yeah, my worst ex was my recent ex, and he just treated me like trash. Put everyone else before me, and also he was a baby daddy, so don't mess with no baby daddies. From the person who messed with multiple baby daddies.
More kids.
I guess when you see the red flags, just run. Like,
it don't be like that though.
Because I was like tiptoeing and like looking back, like, just run. There's no point.
Yeah, but what do you think made you stay with that though? I mean, like, we knew it was trash from the beginning, but we couldn't tell you it was trash.
I probably would have liked that. I probably would have been.
We said like little things.
I don't know.
But y'all don't want to hear us run our mouths when y'all.
I don't know. Like, I guess I was just hoping. It was always like that hope for him to be better and do better, and then it was like it just never was.
Oh, see, they have to. You have to make sure that they meet. Well, first you have to set standards and requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something
which I am doing now and still learning and working on.
And then when you set your standards and requirements for yourself and for others, that person needs to meet them before you put yourself in a position where you're making any kind of a commitment. Like you can do whatever you want to do, but you don't need to commit to anybody
Yeah.
until, or put yourself in a situation where they're dependent on you or you're dependent on them until certain standards and requirements are met.
Mhm. Yeah. True. True story.
Excuse me, you probably heard that burp too.
I'll cut it out. That's crazy. Okay, what's the most embarrassing thing that happened to you?
I can't pick just one thing. I feel like I embarrass myself on a regular basis.
Me too. I'm just an embarrassing person. But the thing is, though, is like I get embarrassed, but then afterwards, I'm just like, what are you even embarrassed for? Because most of the time, I embarrass myself in public, and I'm never gonna see those people again. And if I do, well, I don't know what to tell them.
So what's a recent embarrassment story?
Oh, I guess when I was working at the FedEx warehouse and I wore these leggings actually, and I bent over to pick up a box, and my friend was like, "Oh no, don't do that again." And I was like, "Why?" Well, my whole butt like was see through when I bent over in the leggings, so like the whole two areas saw my butt cheeks. And I was like, well.
So I'll tell you a story like on a professional level, how I just like next level consistently embarrass myself.
Oh.
Like, so it's a little lengthy, but I feel like it's just the context. So like Craig Ballantyne, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the author of the books that I like to read.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect Workday Formula, Perfect Work Week Formula, great books. My personal trainer, when we had a Zoom call, says, "Oh, I did their coaching," and I'm like, "I want to do their coaching. Like, is it good? Whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, it's great." Blah blah blah. Well, he reaches out to me. He says, one of his coaches was in my program too. Do you want me to link you up? So I'm fangirling. I'm like, yeah. Okay. So he links us up through Instagram, and I believe his name is Daniel, and he says, "Hey, Daniel, this is Crystal. Crystal, this is Daniel. Da 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 da." Okay. Well, he says, "Hey, feel free to let me know if there's something you're struggling with, and I'm happy to help you, no charge." And I'm like, fangirling, right? Like, oh, this is great. And I say, hey, I'm struggling with time management. Like, time is my nemesis, but I'm willing to pay for an audit, whatever the case may be. I'm just not in a place where I can do the coaching right now. And so he says, "Give me your email." So he emails me this worksheet in this video. So mind you, I'm also getting Craig Ballantyne's emails, and I look at that, and I had previously watched a video that had a worksheet. So I printed out that worksheet. I printed out the worksheet that the email that Daniel gave me had. And I go to sit down to do the worksheet, and I watch the video that Daniel sends me, and I'm filling out the worksheet, and I'm like, why is the video different from the worksheet? At no point did it ever cross my mind that I should just go back to the email and check what he sent me. Never crosses my mind. So I would put in like 2 days worth of work filling out this worksheet on and off through work. And I send it to him and I say, "Hey, I filled it out and I feel a little silly about it because I don't know like if I did it right. And maybe I could get another example. Like, I'm just a little confused." So then he emails me back and he's just like, "Oh, well, it looks like you filled out this, but this is what you needed to fill out. I'm sorry for the confusion." And I'm like, I look back at the email and he sent me the right one.
Yeah.
I sent him the wrong one. And I'm just like, oh, mind you, I watched this video that Craig Ballantyne just did. He's coming out with a new book, right? He's promoting his new book. So Daniel is apparently his co-author. So he's just like this second, really great like co-author with Craig Ballantyne. I didn't send him the right document. So then I'm like, okay, well, I emailed him back and I said, "You know what? I printed out a completely different document from this other video. I'm the one creating the confusion, so I apologize." And he's like, "Oh, that makes sense." I do that. document, the right one. I said, I fill out that worksheet and I email it to him. And he's just like, hey, Crystal, it looks like you forgot to attach the document.
So what did you email him? Nothing?
Yeah. I just said, hey, I finished the worksheet. Thank you so much for your time. And he was like, hey, Crystal, it looks like you forgot to attach the document. And I'm like, I just can't like do big girl things. Like I can't, like I'm just not ready for that coaching. And so this co-author guy is probably like, it's no wonder this girl can't handle it because she
don't even know what she's doing.
She doesn't even know what she's doing. Like she can't fill out the right document. She can't send it in an email. Like I can't. Working with family. So I run a real estate business and I'm opening a property management company. And so this is March of 2025. So back in August of 2024, it just so happened Atiana came to work for me. And I had the position created for somebody else specifically, and that person didn't show, and I needed to find a replacement. But then at that point, I was so disappointed about that person not showing up, or I didn't have anybody else. So she'd asked me before if I had any jobs or side gigs or anything for her to do to make a little side money. And then I hit her up and I said, hey, are you interested in filling this position for me so I can see what this looks like? Because if I see it and I can work through it myself, I could have a template set up for somebody to come into that position. I said, if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, that's fine too. No hard feelings. I just want to get a feel of what it's like. And she said yes. She came on. She's doing well.
It was my first day. I swear, I think my brain was like deteriorating. It was ridiculous. But after that, it wasn't too much. Like, it wasn't too much. But I had 2 jobs. So I would work here. I would get off. I would take a nap. I would go to my other job. And then I got off there at like 11 and sometimes like 2 in the morning. It just depends on how they felt that day. But, and then January, I couldn't do it anymore. That job was killing me. So I quit and then came here full time. And it's not bad. I mean, I just get to mess with her all day.
I mean, but I think
it's not bad. Like, she's my mom. So you have to think about it. Like,
what do they got to think about?
She gives me food.
She's an employee with benefits. Rotten ass.
So, like I come in the morning, I'll eat me a few snacks. She already has lunch made for me. I eat my lunch. I go home. I cook dinner, whatever. If I need a ride home, because my friend uses my car, she gives me a ride home or she'll pick me up.
Wow. That makes me feel like I need to renegotiate the hourly pay over here. I was thinking, like, you're not eating. And do you want me to just make you meal prep?
I didn't eat a lot at the time. I was like, I was going through the little 4-year breakup or whatever and working at FedEx. So it was just like a lot of stress, like starting a new job, then having 2 jobs, and then getting out of a routine that I knew for so long. And it was just like, whatever. So I wasn't really eating like that anyways, but then she offered to make me lunch and then I was like, sure. So I was eating at least once a day.
I like it that she's tech savvy.
Yeah.
I give her things to do. And honestly, at this point in the game, if you're building a business, when you become more valuable in your business, you want to delegate things that you really shouldn't be doing anymore. And I really don't need to be doing anything that involves like creating on tech or anything like that. Like, I feel like I'm constantly educating myself. I think I'm pretty well educated. So if I say, hey, create this for me, then she's like, okay. And then it just blows my mind. Like, I get my money's worth out of her when I know it would have taken me a week to do what she just did today.
Yes,
the fact that she didn't really
5 documents today.
Yeah, but she didn't really do anything too much last week. Which is fine because sometimes it happens, but this week I'm getting my money's worth, so
for sure. Okay, blended families.
So I think that, well, I think two things. I think nobody talks about blended families enough. That doesn't seem to be a common topic, and I think that that could be its own, like, that could be multiple.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but blended families are hard. It takes a lot of love and selflessness, and just like any relationship, waking up and choosing your family, right? Because at the end of the day, if something happens and the parents break up, whose child is going to go with that parent,
Mm-hmm.
and that relationship is essentially broken, and it might not be the same, and that child might not be able to maintain that relationship with the other parent. And somehow we made it through.
Yeah, so me and my brother actually have two blended families. So my dad and my stepmom has a son, and he's older. He's doing really good. He's in the Air Force and everything. And then they have a child together. So I'm the first child that my parents had, and then my brother is the second child that they had together. But then when we split up, he got with my stepmom, which already had a son that was older than Boya, and then they had a baby together like 4 years later. And then with my mom and my stepdad got together when I was like
Yeah.
eight, and they got married and everything. And my stepdad had a daughter that was older than me. And look, I love her, but she was a brat.
Yeah.
It was different. Like me, boy, and my mom. It's just been us for as long as I can remember. So it was a lot different. Like sharing my mom, getting used to people in like her space and our space. But yeah, we made it through. We did.
And I feel like, I mean, at the end of the day, even though the upbringing, I mean, I feel like everybody's upbringing in a way is always rocky. Like, it's rare that you hear about somebody having a smooth sail, but, I feel like I like it that you gained a parent,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that we did a really good job trying to not replace the parent, but to still be your parent,
Yeah.
because that wasn't the goal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's a lot. Oh, okay. So I guess this is for me. How does it feel watching your daughter grow into the woman she is today?